what is your biggest pet hate? Well, this can be anything from like just the minute details to the over the top details. So, for example, this can be like if a character gets a storyline, and then the storyline is dropped, and then it's picked back up 2 to 3 weeks later. People do complain about that. I don't really understand why, but it can be something like that. It's just
Block
anything.
storytelling. People love to complain about block storytelling. Which, if you don't know the terminology, that's where you'll do a storyline for like 2-3 weeks. You'll have it have a big conclude. You'll have it have a big like story beat. It'll hit it, and then it is off screen for like 3 weeks because then the actor's probably having like a week off or something. But it's become a big buzzword in the soap community the last couple of years. I mean, it's just a simple fact that filming schedules are like different, and people do work on different times. Blah blah blah. Maybe Sharon's having a break, which she always gets a break. It's just how it works. Unfortunately, with soap, it's more efficient to film all stuff in one block, release it at one time, let that little information sit for a while, simmer, and then eventually you do it. You bring it back out again, and it feels like you've. It's like with the short term characters, right? You don't have all the characters' scenes you don't have all their scenes in 2 weeks. If you want them to have long term impact, you want like if they film 20 episodes, you want 20 episodes over like 3 months, and then by the time they leave, you're like, oh god, wow, they were, we spent so much time with them, and it tricks you into the illusion that they were an active character like Stevie Mitchell or like Gloria Knight, where they only really had like 10 to 15, 20 episodes. But because it was so well placed, you immediately missed them.
Yeah, yeah, I do honestly agree with that. Them like just having characters. I know this is about pet hate or pet peeves, but I do agree with that. Like just characters just who've been there for a short period of time, just getting absolutely like fantastic endings and just being written off. Um, I guess one thing I don't really like is when the pets are supposed to be there, but they're not. Have you ever seen Tyson since like last Easter? What is he doing? Where is Tyson?
Yeah, yeah, they really do. It's always an awkward thing because with pets, you obviously you can't have them on frequently because they are a pet. It's hard to control a dog or a cat or a parrot on set. You don't really want to interrupt and stuff. You don't want someone on hand having to like be the carer and take care of the pet, and it just becomes it's like having kids. You don't really want to have that many kids in shots because kids are kids and they're not gonna know, oh, when the camera's on, shut your mouth. Like the kids obviously they don't know where they are. They're still thinking about what their favorite Teletubby is. The answer's always Poe. It's the best one. Um and yeah, it becomes a problem because unless it is like an older dog like Willie the pug, who was an absolute he was a gem and always knew his lines. Did Willie always knew where to stand? It's like Baby Roman. In Baby Roman's like last scene, he knew his lines. He knew where to stand. He shut up and he let Stacy and Ruby talk. Um, but yeah, no, they definitely. It's just like people don't really have pets on the show anymore because they don't like. There's no dogs. And there usually is a dog. There's usually a cat laying about. Like because you obviously at the start you had Rolly and Willie. Fair enough. You slowly. Then I don't remember the other dogs. Then at some point you get Wellard. You get Dave the cat. You get Mr. Pickles the rabbit. You get Jasper. Like, I get that it's a thing. It's probably London. It's landlords. They don't want pets in the house. Blah blah blah. All that nonsense. But it's a soap, man. You can at least make an exception.
Yeah. I do like. My favorite thing is obviously whenever they have to have a scene where Jasper is supposed to be in it, they just get a fucking MP3 doc files of like parrot noises. They don't even have them there.
Ah,
Go on, give us some parrot noises.
that's it. That's all you're getting.
Okay. but it's just a weird thing because I do like pets on the shows, but it is the same thing about like, oh, why do they not do their washing at home? Why is it in the laundrette? It's because you can't really have a washing machine on, and it's like, Stacy, I have cancer. You know, you can't really know what that is.
That's
but
just Harvey making his dinner. He loves a bacon sarnie. All right, other pet hate, and not because we don't need the first 5 minutes of this video to be talking about pets. I know pets are the word that we used, but it's not. It's not to be taken literally. But the answer's chinchillas. But I think one of my biggest current peeves in soaps generally, and this can be talked about multiple different ones. I am fed up of when soap relationships, they get built up, they build, they eventually get together. Oh, this is great. Then they have like an immediate fight. And then instead of actually, because it is soap and it's all dramatized, instead of actually working through it, you just go, well, didn't like you anyways, let's break up now. We spent about 9 months getting together, what are we breaking up for? But then, in recent soap memory, a lot of times they split up for like a month. And then you just get back together and it's like, oh, why didn't we do this all along? That was so silly. Oh my God. It's like, why are you doing it for the first place? What, you're doing it for the fucking first place? Stop breaking up really good couples for no reason. And that can extend elsewhere, right? It's always really weird when they decide to split up a couple. Because if you split up a couple and you go, okay, because they're doing something bigger, they're doing something else, that's what this is here for. It's time for them to do something different with this character. But when they just split up a character and split up a relationship, only for that character to do the square root of fuck all, that's my least favourite thing. Because it's like, okay, so you've absolutely murked a really interesting relationship that could have gone somewhere. And what did you do it for? Nothing. Oh, sound. Great one. I'm so glad that this relationship that should have happened never did. And that's even another one. I'm also sick of relationships being teased that they will eventually happen. It's gonna happen, guys. We're building to it. It's really going to happen. And then it just never happens, does it? Just never happens. They go, oh, this would be a cool relationship. We're gonna do it? No. Why not? Why are we not doing it? This is why people leave the show. Like, this is why people leave. Like, I get that. I know people kind of get upset. Like, oh, people should do relationships. It's what fucking people do. They build a life with someone else. It's what people do. It's what they get a job. They get a relationship. Maybe have kids. Spend a life, build a life with someone. It's a pretty core part of this like era. It's a core part of life at this point. It's what people strive to do. So of course they're gonna get into fucking relationships. But also stop teasing that's going to happen, never do it. It's like Jay and Gina. They've been teasing that for like 2 years. Been teasing it for ages. Are they going to get together? No. Oh, well, what happens if Gina leaves? They're never going to get together, are they? Exactly. Stop fucking wasting potential that you've already established. It just winds me up. Honestly. It's because like so many characters could have been saved if you just did something with them. That's the biggest issue. A lot of like, Felix probably would have been an interesting character if they actually used him to do something and not just stand there and sit around doing fuck all and being like, I work in the Albert. Isn't this cool? What drink do you want, love? Great. That's really fulfilling acting. Really fulfilling here. So, yeah. What do you reckon about this, mate?
Sorry, by the way. I'm glad the camera wasn't on me, because I'm just fucking slowly dozing off of the corner. And also, if you heard a bunch of cars outside, yeah, I do live on a busy like road. Yeah, sorry about that, but it is roasting in this room. As I was saying, I just wanted to give that out in case people are like, why do I hear cars in the background? Don't worry, it's not. It's nothing to do. But it's weird because I understand the teasing it. But yeah, I do agree. It has to have a payoff. It'd be like watching a movie, and it's like we're teasing the sequel. Is the sequel happening?
No,
No.
never happening.
I believe the only example I can give is the Assassin's Creed movie, where they tease something for the
Which
sequel.
everybody clearly wanted a sequel of.
Yeah. Well, no, they teased something for it. I never did anything for the sequel. I will say just briefly on that. I went to see the sequel on, or not the sequel. I went to see the original. I believe on New Year's Day, 2017, maybe 2018. And when I tell you I fell asleep during that movie, because by God, could I not remember any of it. But it's just, couples are weird in the show, because it's like we're gonna do one thing, but we're not gonna actually utilize them, and then it's like, what are you gonna do? And I just don't understand why.
The answer's usually nothing, and then they leave because they don't get anything to do. And because they don't give the characters anything to do, they go, "Oh, this character's just useless. They don't do anything." It's like, you're the one who's choosing who does stuff. You're the writers. Make them do something. You're paying them. Might as well fucking get them to do something. For Christ's sake. Like, it's not their fault that they're not getting anything to do. It's such a weird, like, backwards mentality. Bloody hell, someone should give Felix something to do. Yes, Chris Glenshaw. Someone should give them something to do. Fucking anything. Anything, please, for the love of Christ. And that's the same way. This can kind of go into a next one for me. Another one is the refusal to actually, and this is pretty much similar in its own right, but it's the refusal to actually make any big choices for a character. Like, you establish, like Sam Mitchell. Look at Sam Mitchell. Look at what she did for like the last 15, 20 years of her life. Ever since giving birth to Ricky, Sam Mitchell has existed. Has she had any big relationships that she's been involved in? No. Has she, did she had any more kids? No. Has she built a big life and a business for herself? No. Has she done literally anything? No. It's like, what do you mean? She's an adult. She's a full grown woman, and she's still stealing from Phil like 30 years on. Why do you? I get the idea. You don't want to make big decisions for a character that you may later go back and change. Like, maybe you don't put Martin and Priya together because Martin was leaving anyways. Maybe you do it full circle. You act like it didn't happen. But also, you've got to have them progress somehow. It doesn't even have to be much. Send them on a uni course. Let them do their GCSEs or something. Just be something small. Let them get just a different job. Let them have a career. And that's something you don't really see as much in general either. You don't really get many characters who are actually like you don't get characters who start off and like get their career. And it's like, like I guess Johnny is a recent example where he is actually like a lawyer now-ish. He's still training, of course, but he is actually a lawyer. But usually it's never rooted in actual. Usually the only people you actually see working are people in the shop, or people at the cafe or the Vic, or the policeman. And that's it. And they're usually there to just push forward a story. But it's kind of it's baffling to me that we just keep not allowing characters to progress. It was like a thing with Whitney, where it's like, oh, Whitney, she's doing well. Isn't Whitney doing great? Well, at least Whitney was having relationships, but she never had kids, never, until the very end, until 15 years on. And because they were so reluctant to let anything stick, and they just wanted to keep poking her with a tragedy stick, hoping something was going to erupt, that they just slowly let her pit her out, and by the end, we were fucking sick of her anyways. It's an impossible standard to set. People are there to act. People are there to do their job. You're supposed to give them something to work with. It's like Anna Knight. People are like, oh, she's such a shit character. It's not great. And it's like, she's been given a half opportunity where it's like, oh, yeah, now, you're getting this really cool spiking storyline. Are you gonna do it on the main show? Nah. You got this TikTok mini series that you want you to do? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Woo. TikTok mini series. 3 minutes of screen time. Let's go. Really, I've grinded for this opportunity, and now I will get a TikTok mini series made about me. Fantastic. And it's because all of our storylines have been pretty half cocked. It's like Junior. Junior was introduced to fuck Cindy. That's it. That's all he does. That's all he's continued to do, and it's all he will do when she gets back. And that's all he's done. That's all he's doing. He's got a job. He's got a kid. He's only mentioned the kid again once. There's just, you need to give people something to do, otherwise they get bored or tired or give up.
Don't mention tired near me, mate. Whatever you do. But yeah, he was just introduced to basically Shaq Cindy. I guess another one I have is just the villains being here for too long. Like, did Reese need to be here for 2 years? Did Nish need to be here for nearly 3 years? Like, you know what I mean? Did he deserve it? I'm trying to think of the other one. Did Theo Hawthorne really need to be here for like 6 to 10 months and then just mysteriously leave because we can't be asked to put him in the Christmas storyline, so he's just gone? Like, did we really need to overshadow these villains and make them last longer? I get there's breaks and everything, like Sonia was filming a Channel 4 show at the time, but like she literally did nothing.
Yeah, for about fucking 7 years apparently.
Mate, it was just a remake of Deal or No Deal. She was just doing Deal or No Deal for like 7 months.
Has that show even come out yet? Is the question.
What is it even called?
A
Night with Natalie Cassidy.
Well, because I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think it's out yet.
Please.
But yeah.
Please tell me to recreate one of my favourite scenes in the EastEnders universe. Well, not EastEnders universe. Where I've brought this up multiple times, but I still love it. Where it's just Bill Bailey and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get a fucking an EastEnders legend, Steve McFadden. Let's go." Natalie Cassidy. Oh, the crowd goes wild.
But yeah, it's definitely a test of time to this recent stint where it's a weird thing where a lot of people, if they watch it in the past, will complain about viewers now not having enough patience or not really giving it enough time, and that's fair enough because, like, you know, who was Michelle's like baby daddy? That took a good chunk of time to ever get any sense of conclusion. And you want the slow build, but it also has to earn the slow build. Like, Gray Atkins was long. Gray Atkins was a long storyline. And it didn't help how it obviously happened around the pandemic, and it definitely got slowed down but sped up, but still slowed down even in the same way. You were struggling to comprehend how to do it properly, but it also outstayed its welcome and overexposed itself, which is pretty much, you can say that for most of the overarching villains of this recent Chris Crenshaw era, where Theo was really built up, and he's under the rug. Sorry, what? Yeah, he's gone now. Yeah, okay. Nish, build up. Has a really big 2023. And then he doesn't die at Christmas, so it's like, oh, okay, all right, what's happening now? I don't know. He's going to live till 2025. Ah, and by the end, you're just gonna be thank God he's finally gone. And then the Reese stuff, which was still so questionable in its approach at most times that you just kind of got fed up of what was happening, and it just kind of you just struggled to fully, because you wanted to complete it properly, you wanted to give it the amount of time that it had, but also it was hampered by a lot of people having to leave and a lot of people to stay in. It was a story with one person who was on a guest in and one character who was leaving. Like, it's just unenviable back and forth where the audience didn't really know how to feel, but it also still probably went on way too long.
Yeah, I do agree that went on way too long. The one I obviously complain about is obviously Reach, because like his dark side kind of starts when he kills Debbie. Spoiler, by the way, if you haven't been keeping up for the past year, Debbie is dead. But yeah, he just kind of kills her, and then he's like, Sonia, you're going to prison, and Sonia's like, yep, fine. And Reach is like, that's grand. My wife's in prison for the murder I did. Let's just be quiet, and then he just kills her. Like, well, she's already dead, but you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, my fiance can rot in prison, and I get nothing. It's just it was just stupid, honestly. But I think that's where we leave our pet peeves, our pet hates, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye.